And now I'm going to break open your rib cage and eat your lungs. And then it's the sound of me eating your lungs. Let's get into cannibal ASMR, and I promise you we could probably make a killing. Literally.
Is that not already a thing?
I don't know. Probably not. Fuck it. Welcome to the 20th episode.
Where's my trombone?
Yeah, where's your trombone? Where's the frickin' balloons?
No balloons.
Upsetting. The 20th episode of Beer and Fear. My name is Paige.
My name is Zach.
Hello.
20 episodes.
Yes.
Whoa.
Look at us go.
We've been doing this way too long for no good reason.
Has it even been that long? We do an episode like every week.
It was it end of July we started? Beginning of August? It's like 4 months.
Wow.
That's crazy. 20 episodes.
What a time to be alive.
We made it.
How's your life, man?
Should we do like tequila shots?
Hell no. I am so tired. I am dreading drinking this next beer because I need to drive home.
That's right. I'm slowly waking up.
No,
I've gotten to that point to where I've gotten so tired. I'm like starting to,
plateau.
Yeah.
No, I'm tired as hell.
Starting to wake up a little bit even more. Yeah, this is episode 20, and we wanted to do wanted to pick a cooler topic for episode 20, much like episode 10.
So the topic is aliens.
Aliens. This is going to be a cool topic for Paige. I kind of wish that you weren't as tired as you were, so you could enjoy it more.
Because I love aliens.
Paige does love aliens. So we're recording this right after episode 19. The same day. It is 10:37 p.m.
Sleepy babies.
And we're both very tired, so we're going to try our best to make it through this episode. And normally, well, when you're listening to this, it will be 2021.
Ain't that wild? Hello, future. So this is from the past.
2020 is over. Paige, how do you think your week was?
That week? The week that hasn't happened yet?
Right, the one that hasn't happened yet, from the 30th to the 6th of January. How did that go?
I probably slept a lot.
Yeah?
That is my plan.
What about
we
work?
could talk about New Year's resolutions.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any for the year?
I do. Last episode I mentioned I gained 20 pounds, which to me is a lot.
I just think it makes you look healthy.
I don't know. Maybe. I just haven't, it's a lot to gain in about a year. I was always steady 120. I thought it would be 120 pounds for the rest of my life.
That's so ridiculous.
But I want to get in shape. I want to start going back to the gym. Hopefully we can do that soon. And if I can't, I'd like to start doing some type of small workout every single morning.
I think you should start doing Pilates.
So maybe Pilates, maybe goat yoga. I can buy a goat with my Christmas money and do goat yoga.
Specifically just for goat yoga.
Yep. But like I'm thinking like pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups, a little bit every day, every morning, It should be easier since I'll be on a new schedule. Since I'm on a new schedule now, I switched on the 3rd. So getting more in shape, and that's about it. My Discover card that I've had since 2014, 2013, I finally paid it off.
Oh, hey, cool.
So I'm proud of that too.
That's exciting.
So another New Year's resolution is to get rid of the rest of my debt.
I believe in you.
I'm working on it. What about you?
None.
0?
The only New Year's resolution I've ever stuck with is to not drink soda.
Ooh.
And, like, that was years and years and years ago.
That's a decent one.
So, like, I don't stick to anything else. Maybe be better with my money. Budget. There we go. Budget.
Yeah.
Budget my life better. That's it. That is my only New Year's resolution.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Happy 2021.
Happy New Year.
And we hope this year will be better than last year.
Yeah.
For many reasons. 2020 was a wild ride.
Absolute shit show.
But I don't think we need to do much more talking about us.
No.
Let's get into episode 20
on aliens. So, the beer I have picked is from Illuminated Brew Works.
Let me pull it out of the fridge.
Okay. It is called... Oh, do you mean to wait? I'll wait. The beer I picked, transition into that, is from Illuminated Brew Works. It is called Junior Astronaut Juice, which I think is just the cutest.
Oh my gosh. Junior Astronaut Juice.
It's so adorable.
It sounds like the most adorable beer we've ever had on the show.
Honestly. Illuminated Brew Works is a Chicago-based brewery.
And we are just killing it with these Chicago brews.
Gotta represent. Producing beer for interesting times, from big hazy IPAs to yeast-driven urban farmhouses, adjunct-rich stouts, adjunct?
Yeah.
Adjunct?
Adjunct?
Yeah, adjunct.
Whatever.
And experimentally driven sours and fruit beers. Our offerings rotate seasonally to celebrate the annual cycle.
Hell yeah.
The founder and head brewer is Brian Buckman.
The brewmaster, huh?
Yeah. He is a Siebel? S-I-E-B-E-L. Siebel?
Siebel?
Institute-trained brewer with a focus on yeast cultivation and fermentation techniques.
Jeez.
He has been studying brewing since 2008.
This guy's smart.
Matt Shirley is a founder and business manager.
Yep.
He is president of Gourmet 45, a Chicago-based catering company. He has worked there since 2003. James Monk, he is the facilities manager and assistant brewer. He is a 20-year AWS certified welder and has been managing Grover Welding for the past 13 of those years. Mm-hmm. Jason designed and fabricated our brew house, as well as the first legally registered food truck in the city of Chicago.
Jeez.
That's cool.
Okay, cool it, guys.
It's got
Save some.
There's a lot of people. Wally List, Mello Lucas, Jim Myers, and Armin Mabry are sales representatives. And it goes into detail of them, but I'm just lazy. Mm-hmm. Junior Astronaut Juice, this is from the website, is a crushable 6% IPA made with the same hop bill as Astronaut Juice and Astronaut Ice Cream.
Crushable!
But designed to be a bit more mild, a bit more genial, a bit more of a companion down those bumpy roads of a 14-hour drinking binge than its older cousins. Come get this lovable expression of Mosaic and Pacifica hops while it lasts.
I'm sorry, so what kind of beer is it?
American.
APA?
Yeah. Yeah, American IPA. On Beer Advocate.
An American IPA?
Yeah, an American IPA. It's like saying ATM machine.
Yeah.
It is on Beer Advocate. It is scored in 88, which is very good.
Decent.
It is ranked 2,386 out of APAs on the website. Its ABV, like I said, is 6%. It is ranked overall on the website 17,323. Mm-hmm. It has an average score of 3.98.
Not bad.
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
My review comes from CRM871. Kerm. He gave it a 3.92 out of 5. He says the look pours a hazy yellow with a light layer of white head. Great looking beer. The smell is citrus. It hits you almost immediately as you start pouring. He's getting hints of pineapple, lemon, melon, grapefruit, and orange. which I always love fruit-based beers.
Okay.
Taste is a bit more subtle than the smell, not in a disappointing way, but a bit unexpected. Definitely getting the citrus fruits again on the taste, mostly pineapple and orange, and there are some floral tastes as well. Feel, it's pretty light to low medium body, easy to drink, smooth, dry finish. And overall, a solid beer, great IPA to have during the day while watching a football or hockey game.
Okay. Should we put a football or hockey game on?
We gotta. That's the rule. Kerm said so.
Are you opening?
Yeah.
I gotta look at the. Hold on.
I'm looking at the can. The can is so cute. It's got a little astronaut with like a really pretty. My brain just stopped.
Aw. What's like a tie-dye sort of thing going on in the helmet?
It's like stripes.
Illuminated Brew Works.
It's very cute.
Double dry hopped.
Enjoy with people you trust.
Oh no, it's an IPA.
Look. Enjoy with people you trust. Do you trust me? Oh. Wow.
Wait, so it's an It's an IPA.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Illuminati.
Oh my god, Illuminati.
Illuminati's
666.
on the bottle. On the can.
Sniff this.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh my god, hello?
Yep, pineapple.
Hello?
Fruit right away. Kerm was not lying.
No, Kerm was right. Kerm 8971.
You want to smell this?
That smells so good. What the fuck?
Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Making a mess. I tried to get the pour in the mic and
I just spilled all over
it's on my shirt.
himself. I can't. You distracted me and you screwed up my pour.
Oh no.
Stop.
Oh no.
You are
Oh,
so
gosh.
messy today. Oh, my
no.
god, stop moving.
Putting that down.
Oh my god. It smells so good.
Yeah, pineapple and orange.
I'm into it.
Yeah, the fruit is strong.
Yeah, me too.
Junior astronaut juice is very fruity.
I guess the other ones are much stronger in flavor.
Oh, that's why it's called junior? Mm-hmm. It's for
I don't know if
juniors.
it's a higher ABV or... It just smells so good. What the hell? And I love the can. It's so cute.
Yeah, the smell is fantastic. It smells like a fresh pineapple.
It really does. Very enjoyable.
Let me know when you're ready over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, do it.
Did you finally finish spilling?
Yes. I'm done spilling. Gentle clink. What does this remind me of? Ooh, man, that's good. Man, that's good. This reminds me of a beer we've had.
Yeah, me too, kind of.
That
Kind
was,
of like Bat Squatch.
that was also, yeah, that was also very fruity and citrusy.
Hits the throat the same way. I think it's Bat Squatch.
I have to look.
Ooh. It's smooth, though.
Yes.
Not as smooth as the last one, but this is smooth.
There's,
That's good.
yeah, maybe Bad Squatch or what was Candy Crush Bowl was an APA. Was that fruity?
More lactose.
More lactose.
It was sugar. The only one
Or Sailor's Kush?
Sailor's
Was that
Kush
fruity?
was very fruity.
So
But it
reminiscent.
didn't have the same hit to it as Bat Squatch.
I guess reminiscent of Bad Squatch and Sailor's Kush. It is a little opaque. More golden colored.
Please don't spill it.
No. Golden colored, a deep gold. Yeah, it looks like, what was that one beer that described it as like hazy orange juice or something?
Yeah. And then you asked me, what's hazy orange juice?
Oh, it's an interesting kind of orange juice.
It's a darker orange juice.
This is really good. It's very, very fruity, very crisp and refreshing. And it's my fourth beer today. Since 3 o'clock.
You alky.
I mean, not much else to say.
No, it's very enjoyable.
It
Very easy to drink.
yeah, it is. It just reminds me of something we've had already.
Yeah, I really think it's Bad Squatch. That's where it hits home at. But I'd say more citrusy than Bad Squatch was.
So real quick, we'll rate this.
Oh, yeah.
So, Paige ranked this a 3. I ranked this a 2, giving it an overall score of 2.5. This is the last beer of our 10 since Sequench. So just a reminder, all of these beers you can view on our beer list. I think it's bit.ly/BAF list. I think it's on our Facebook. You can view it on our Reddit posts. All of our descriptions in the videos has the link to view our beer list, which shows all the beers that we've had in previous episodes, the style, the brewery, the score it was given on Beer Advocate, the ranking, and then what we scored it compared to all the other beers. So number 1, which we both agreed on, is Sailor's Kush, which was episode 5.
Yep.
I'm sorry, 15. Sailor's Kush, that was by Half Acre. It was an IPA. Score 92.
Oh, such a good beer.
That was a very good beer. And then tied for second place is Tropical Bitch and this beer here
What do you have in your number
that
10?
we're trying here. We both agreed on number 10 of
Pumpkin?
Solitude and Sadness.
Oh, Solitude and
Solitude and
Sadness.
Sadness was number 10. And then number, like I said, 2.5 was tied for Tropical Bitch and this beer. The next beer was a 5. Dead Guy came in, I guess, 3rd or 4th. Above Solitude and Sadness was Pumpkinhead. So you can view the whole score list on our link there. It's essentially an Excel spreadsheet. So Sailor's Kush.
Good beer, man.
Good beer, man.
Don't you mock me.
This is also really good too.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that most of my beer picks are A fucking plus.
I think. Did you do Sailor's Kush?
I did.
Oh yeah, you did.
I did Sailor's Kush. I did Tropical Bitch.
I did the even ones. I did Dead Guy. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you also did Pumpkinhead. So
Yeah, just because I wanted to be holiday-ish, you know? I wanted to do, like, something that fit with the season.
I did Bad Squatch. Okay.
That was the first season. Get with the new season. Frickin' boomer.
Really good beer. Excellent pick.
Definitely recommend.
Good pick for Aliens.
I don't know if I'll be able to finish it just because I'm so tired right now. But
Bloated and tired.
exactly.
A lot of beer. So
But let's get into it. Teach me about
dying.
aliens while you have a croup cough.
dying.
I told you I'd do your eulogy, right? At your funeral.
Aw. How nice of you.
He was a guy.
This was a man.
He
lived.
had facial hair.
Yep.
And he stood exactly 5'8". 5'7".
5'9" on a good day.
Yeah, 5'9" on a good day.
So Aliens is just such a broad topic.
Yes,
I feel
it
like
is.
we might decide later down the road to revisit it and talk about different types of aliens, specific types of aliens. And throughout my research, I found that Wikipedia doesn't have an alien article. If you just search alien, it's the disambiguation sort of article. It shows all the different articles there.
Did you type in extraterrestrial?
They do have an extraterrestrial life article. So they don't have an alien article, but extraterrestrial life is where I started on Wikipedia, because we all know most of this information is directly pulled verbatim from Wikipedia.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're full of shit. Oh, there he goes. He's dead now. We gotta be quick. I'm falling asleep.
Extraterrestrial life is hypothetical life that may occur outside of Earth and that did not originate on Earth. It can range from simple cellular organisms to intelligent or sapient beings. So when one says alien life, it can really refer to anything in that spectrum.
Sure.
Evidence, research, and information varies depending on which forms of life you're talking about. But when most people say alien, They're typically referring to the stereotypical depiction of the skinny, bipedal human-like beings.
Or the guy with the crazy hair on the History Channel.
Aliens. Wikipedia lists several alleged extraterrestrial beings, but the ones I'll be talking about in this episode are referred to as Greys.
Oh my god, I was hoping you were going to do it on the Greys. Yes.
Absolutely.
My favorite.
So, gray aliens, also referred to as Greys, Zeta Reticulans, or Roswell Greys, are typically described as being human-like with small bodies with smooth gray-colored skin and large hairless heads
Love them.
and large black eyes. They possess reduced forms of or completely lack external human body parts such as noses, ears, or sex organs. Their bodies are usually depicted as being elongated, having a small chest, and lacking in muscular definition and visible skeletal structure, akin to my body.
You were just
most of the time.
You were just bitching about how you gained 20 pounds.
Their legs are depicted as being shorter and jointed differently from humans, with their limbs proportionally different from human. And they are also depicted as having unusually large heads in proportion to their hairless bodies, and no noticeable outer ears or noses, sometimes with small openings or other orifices for ears, nostrils, and mouths. According to C.D.B. Bryan,
Hello.
73% of all reported alien encounters in the United States describe gray aliens, a significantly higher proportion than other countries. They were popularized by the Barney and Betty Hill abduction claim, but some descriptions and sightings appeared earlier. They've emerged as an archetypal image of an intelligent, non-human creature and extraterrestrial life in general, as well as an iconic trope of popular culture in the age of space exploration. One of the first known references to Greys comes from a 1893 article, Man of the Year Million, where science fiction author H.G. Wells envisioned the possibility of humanity being transformed into a race of gray-skinned beings who were perhaps 1 meter tall, with big heads and large oval-shaped pitch-black eyes. In 1965, newspaper reports of the Betty and Barney Hill abduction made the archetype famous. The alleged abductees, Betty and Barney Hill, claimed that in 1961, alien beings had abducted them and taken them to a flying saucer. Under hypnosis, Betty Hill produced the star map, which she claimed located the home planet of her abductors in the Zeta Reticuli star system. Betty thereafter began to refer to them as Zeta Reticulans. The term Greys did not come into usage until many years later. In his 1990 article, Entirely Unpredisposed, Martin Kottmeyer suggests that Barney's memories revealed under hypnosis might have been influenced by an episode of the science fiction television show The Outer Limits, titled The Bellerose Shield, which was broadcasted about 2 weeks before Barney's first hypnotic session. The episode featured an extraterrestrial with large eyes who says, "In all the universes and all the unities beyond the universes, all who have eyes that speak." The report from the regression featured a scenario that was in some respects similar to the television show. So maybe they're thinking this is where I got it.
I'm having flashbacks to Chupacabra.
Chupacabra?
Yeah, the woman that said she saw it and described it like the animal from Splice.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
That she had seen like a week prior.
Yep.
She's like, it looked like just like the animal from it looked like the animal from Splice. Pretty sure that's the actress.
Exactly like that. The Greys appear as the aliens in the 1977 film Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I never saw that. I need to.
It's a good movie. That same year, a species of gray alien-type beings called the Bith were depicted as the Cantina Band in the film Star Wars. A duo of a different species of gray alien-type beings called the Duros also appeared in the Cantina scene. I have photos of both. In case you don't know what these look like,
I'll know what they look like.
They will be on our website, beardfearcast.podbean.com.
If you're a nerd and haven't
Or you can open the
Star
sidebar
Wars
on the left and then click on our episodes to view the pictures. Both of these aren't loading on my computer. That's a Bith alien.
I know what bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what they are.
You know what they are, right? You know Star Wars. And then these are actually the Duros aliens, which also appeared in the same scene, but they're not as popular, you know. They're not the ones playing the instruments. During the early 1980s, Greys were linked to the alleged crash landing of a flying saucer in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. A number of publications contained statements from individuals who claimed to have seen U.S. military handling a number of unusually proportioned, bald, child-sized beings. These individuals claimed during and after the incident that the beings had oversized heads and slanted eyes, but without other distinguishable facial features. In 1987, novelist Whitley Strieber published the book Communion, which, unlike his previous works, was categorized as nonfiction, and in which he describes a number of close encounters he alleges to have experienced with Greys and other extraterrestrial beings. The book became a New York Times bestseller, and New Line Cinema released a 1989 film adaptation that starred Christopher Walken as Strieber. There's the book, the cover of the book with the gray alien on it. During the 1990s, popular culture began to increasingly link Greys to a number of military-industrial complex and New World Order conspiracy theories. A well-known example of this occurring as a form of entertainment was the Fox television series The X-Files, which first aired in 1993. It combined the quest to find proof of the existence of Grey-like extraterrestrials with a number of UFO conspiracy theory subplots in order to form its primary story arc. In 1995, filmmaker Ray Santilli claimed to have obtained 22 reels of 16mm film that depicted the autopsy of a, quote, real Grey, supposedly recovered from the site of the 1947 incident in Roswell, New Mexico. However, in 2006, Santilli announced that the film was not original, but was instead a, quote, reconstruction created after the original film was found to have degraded. He maintained that a real Grey had been found and autopsied on camera in 1947, and that the footage released to the public contained a percentage of that original footage. I actually found it on YouTube. So this is here. Watch it here.
You are not allowed to do things ever anymore.
That was from Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah, I picked that up.
Yeah. If you want to watch the video that we just looked up, you can search on YouTube. WKUK Alien Autopsy is where we found it. And it does show parts of the original footage of the 1947 autopsy when they found that alien crash landed. So WKUK Alien Autopsy. Greys are often involved in alien abduction claims. Among reports of alien encounters, Greys make up approximately 50% in Australia, 73% in the United States, like we mentioned, 48% in continental Europe, and around 12% in the United Kingdom. These reports include two distinct groups of Greys that differ in height. Abduction claims are often described as extremely traumatic, similar to an abduction by humans or even a sexual assault in the level of trauma and distress. Research has shown that the emotional impact of perceived abductions can be as great as that of combat, sexual abuse, and other traumatic events. The eyes are often a focus of abduction claims. Claims often describe a Grey staring into the eyes of an abductee when conducting mental procedures. This staring is claimed to induce hallucinogenic states or directly provoke different emotions. Neurologist Stephen Novella proposes that Grey aliens are a byproduct of the human imagination, with the Grey's most distinctive features representing everything that modern humans traditionally link with intelligence. Quote, the aliens, however, do not just appear as humans, they appear like humans with those traits we psychologically associate with intelligence. In 2005, Frederick V. Malmstrom, writing in Skeptic magazine, presents his idea that Greys are actually residual memories of early childhood development. Malmstrom reconstructs the face of a Grey through transformation of a mother's face based on our best understanding of early childhood sensation and perception. Malmstrom's study offers another alternative to the existence of grays, the intense instinctive response many people experience when presented an image of a gray, and the act of regression hypnosis and recovered memory therapy in recovering memories of alien abduction experiences, along with their common themes. It has also been proposed that the grays are actually distorted memories of traumatic experiences faded with time, especially according to studies by Malmstrom and similar researchers. Quote, it's easier to imagine being abducted by alien creatures than to face the traumatic memories of being bullied by peers or assaulted by an aggressive man. Interesting where he comes to these, draws these conclusions from. According to biologist Jack Cohen, the typical image of a gray, assuming that it would have evolved from a world with different environmental and ecological conditions from Earth, is too physiologically similar to a human to be credible as a representation of an alien. So I kind of agree, like our stereotypical depiction of an alien is very human-like. You know, it contains all the normal limbs and anatomy, essentially, structure-wise, of a human. And I think that's mostly due to us, assigning those, not from any actual facts or hard evidence. Some UFOologists explain such implausible coincidences as evidence that extraterrestrial beings may have had influence on the evolution of life on Earth in the distant past. The theory of ancient astronauts, specifically that extraterrestrials were involved in the evolution of primates, including humans. So maybe it's not aliens are a result of our, the characteristics that we give them. It's actually the opposite. Aliens had a...
I always see, and I always agree with, that aliens had an influence on our world, rather than visitors having adopted anything from us.
Right. So definitely a different way to view that, which I can see why. Some conspiracy theorists believe that grays represent part of a government-led disinformation or plausible deniability campaign, or that they're a product of government mind control experiments. Because everything's a conspiracy.
Yes, of course.
And when I was looking up photos of, there's a standard depiction of an alien. When I was looking up photos of aliens, it just Googled alien depiction or alien photo.
Sure.
This popped up.
That makes me think of the birds or drones.
It's a picture of a squirrel. And the caption for this photo that I pulled up on this article, gray squirrels, introduced from North America in the 1900s, are now driving continental Europe's native red squirrels to the brink of extinction. The headline of this article is, Alien Species Are Accelerating Their March Across the Globe.
Yes.
This is from sciencemag.org. And I thought it was a funny article because it shows different charts. This chart says alien invasion, global number of new alien species. And, shows the numbers there.
Sure.
And then this next chart, space invaders, new alien species by taxa, 1800 to 2000. And shows charts of plants, insects, fish, mollusks. What I deduced from this is that they're referring to new species as aliens, and they're putting a spin on it to make it humorous. Yeah. That there's an alien invasion when they're just talking about new species that are becoming a thing.
Gotcha.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. I need to wake up. I'm so tired. I'm falling asleep.
It's late. Aren't you used to staying up late though?
Sometimes. My sleep schedule's fucked. Now that Zachary is done, let's get into the real fun here.
Oh.
Alien abductions. And probes.
Ooh. Probes.
Probes. Jeff. Probes.
Daddy.
Oh my god. I hated every second of that. That was horrible. Anyways, early cases of alien abduction start out with Antonio Villas Boyas.
Okay.
his case from Brazil in 1957 and the Hill abduction from the United States in 1961. They were the first cases of UFO abduction to earn widespread attention. Although these two cases are sometimes viewed as the earliest abduction narratives, skeptic Peter Rogerson argues that this assertion is incorrect. The Hill and the Antonio abductions, he contends, were only the first canonical abduction cases, establishing a template from which later abductees and researchers would refine, but rarely deviate. Additionally, Rogerson's notes purported
Yep.
Abductions were cited contemporary.
Oh my God, I don't even know what you're saying anymore.
I don't know either. I'm tired. While alien abduction did not achieve widespread attention until the 1960s, many similar stories are known to have been circulating decades earlier. These early abduction-like accounts have been dubbed paleo abductions by UFO researcher Jerome Clark. Some paleo abductions were reported well before the 1957 Antonio Villas case, which earned much attention, or even before the UFO report claimed in 1947 by pilot Kenneth Arnold that first generated widespread interest in UFOs. At least one case of attempted abduction was reported in conjunction with the mystery airships of the late 19th century. Colonel H.G. Shaw's account was published in the Stockton, California Daily Mail in 1897. Shaw claimed that he and a friend were harassed by 3 tall, slender humanoids whose bodies were covered with a fine, downy hair. The beings tried to accost or kidnap Shaw and his friend, who were able to fight them off. You ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Downy hair?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh, God, watch it. It's terrible. In the book New Lands, American writer Charles Fort speculated that
Extracorrectorial. They're too correct.
What's that? What do you do when you go to take art class?
Oh, extracurricular?
Yeah. Extracurricular beings. Speculated that extraterrestrial beings might have kidnapped humans. One supposes that if extra mundane vessels have sometimes come close to this Earth, then sailing away, terrestrial aeronauts may have occasionally left this Earth or may have been seized and carried away from this Earth. Which is a quote from Charles Fort.
Okay.
The 1951 case of Fred Reagan was publicized by Flying Saucer Review, my favorite magazine, in the late 1960s based on news clippings from 1952. Reagan claimed to have been piloting his small airplane, which was struck by a UFO. The occupants, who resembled metallic stalks of asparagus, apologized and tried to cure Reagan's cancer.
Apologize?
They said they're sorry. Sorry we hit your airplane. Let me cure your cancer. Reagan reportedly died of a brain disorder not long after the alleged UFO encounter. But not of his cancer.
They cured his cancer but gave him a brain disorder.
Exactly. In 1954, Paris Match printed a story said to have occurred in 1921 when the anonymous writer was a child. The writer claimed to have been snatched by 2 tall men, air quotes, who wore helmets and diving suits, who took the boy to an oddly shaped tank before being released. Rogerson calls this story the earliest known abduction survivor report. What is your face right now?
The diving suits. Confusing.
Isn't it odd? A 1958 letter to NICAP. Hang on.
NICAP?
National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena.
Okay.
Asserted that 2 U.S. Army soldiers witnessed 2 bright red lights near their base. The soldiers had a strange sense of disassociation and found themselves in a new location with no memory of how they arrived there, which I actually remember reading about that.
It's weird when it happens to more than one person. Mm-hmm. Then you've got someone
there's someone to be like, yes, this happened to us together. But then you also have to consider the fact that sometimes people are just assholes that like to spread rumors, like how the Salem witch trials started.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
Rogerson writes that the publication of Harold T. Wilkins' Flying Saucers Uncensored in 1955 declared that two contactees, Carl Hunrath and Wilbur Wilkinson, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Wilkins' reported speculation that the duo were the victims of alleged abduction by flying saucers. The so-called Shaver mystery of the 1940s has some similarities to later abduction accounts, as well as with sinister beings said to be kidnapping and torturing people. Rogerson writes that John Robinson, a friend of ufology gadfly Jim Moseley, made a 1957 appearance on John Neville's popular overnight radio program to tell a dramatically spooky, if not very plausible, abduction tale. Spoopy. Related to the Shaver mystery. Robinson claimed that a friend of his had been held captive by the evildoers beneath the Darrows. I'm sorry, my brain went weird. I don't know if it meant to put doers or Darrows.
Okay.
Beneath the earth, and to have been the victim of a sort of mind control via small earphones. Rogerson writes that in this unlikely tale that we first encountered the implants and other abductionist staples. That's when we start getting into the probes.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going into them. I'm just saying.
Oh,
that's when they start implementing tools. That's when they start implementing them. Allegedly genuine stories of kidnapped by extraterrestrials goes back at least to the mid-1950s with the Antonio case, which did not receive much attention until several years later. Widespread publicity was generated by Betty and Barney Hill abduction case of 1961, again not widely known until several years afterwards, culminating in a made-for-television film broadcast in 1975, starring James Earl Jones and Estelle Parsons, dramatizing the events.
Yeah. I remember I've listened to a couple podcasts that cover that particular case. Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to talk about one of those cases in particular. Perfect.
Literally about to.
What a segue.
Antonio, I don't even want to say his last name.
Antonio, no last name.
Yep, that's him. He was born in 1934 and died in 1991, was a Brazilian farmer, later a lawyer, who claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrials in 1957. Though similar stories have circulated for years beforehand, Villas claims were among the first alien abduction stories to receive wide attention. Mm-hmm. The abduction day was October 16th, 1957, like I said. He was taken from an area of open fields. At the time of his alleged abduction, Antonio was a 23-year-old Brazilian farmer who was working at night to avoid the hot temperatures of the day, as one does.
I didn't know his name was Antonio.
I said it like 6 times. On October 16th, he was plowing fields near
I thought this was the Barney and Betty Hill thing.
No, this is Antonio.
I thought you were going to talk about the Barney and Betty Hill thing.
I'm going to do that one next. Can you calm down?
I'm so excited.
Ugh. When he saw what he described as a red star in the night sky. According to his story, this star approached his position, growing in size until it became recognizable as a roughly circular or egg-shaped aerial craft with a red light at its front and rotating
Your face.
cupola?
Cupola?
It says it's a small dome-like
A
structure.
cupola?
Cupula, something like that.
I think it's cupula.
I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. Cupola.
Cupola.
The craft began descending to land in the field, extending 3 legs as it did so. At that point, Antonio decided to run from the scene. Smart boy. According to Antonio, he first attempted to leave the scene on his tractor, but when its lights and engine died after traveling only a short distance, he decided to continue on foot. However, he was seized by a 1.5 meter, 5 foot tall humanoid who was wearing gray coveralls and a helmet. Its eyes were small and blue, and instead of speech, it made noises like barks or yelps. 3 similar beings then joined the first in subduing Antonio, and they dragged him inside their craft.
Creepy.
Once inside the craft, Antonio said that he was stripped of his clothes and covered from head to toe with a strange gel. He was then led into a large semicircular room through a doorway that had strange red symbols written over it. Antonio claimed that he was able to memorize these symbols and later reproduce them for investigators. In this room, the beings took samples of his blood from his chin.
Because that's where you draw blood.
Yeah, that's where all the blood cells are. Mm-hmm. That's where my veins are. After this, he was then taken to a third room and left alone for around half an hour. During this time, some kind of gas was pumped into the room, which made Antonio become violently ill. Shortly after this, he claimed that he was joined in the room by another humanoid. This one, however, was female, very attractive, and naked.
Okay.
She was the same height as the other beings he had encountered, with a small pointed chin and large blue cat-like eyes. The hair on her head was long and white, somewhat like platinum blonde. But her underarm and pubic hair were bright red. Antonio said he was strongly attracted to the woman, and the two had sexual intercourse.
Oh my God. It's
During
a bunch of bullshit.
This act, Antonio noted that the female did not kiss him, but instead nipped him on the chin. Because, like, when you're abducted, you have to start complaining about the sexual intercourse that you get from your abductees. From your abductors. You're just like, well, why won't you kiss me?
Apparently, in Alien World, all of your veins are in your chin.
Everything's sexy.
And your erogenous zones are in your chin.
Everything sexy happens on the chin.
It's all in the chin.
Let me see that chin, baby. When it was all over, the female smiled and said, "That was it."
5 seconds later, when it was all over.
The female smiled at Antonio, rubbing her belly, and gestured upwards. There's a creepy alien baby somewhere. Antonio took this to mean that she was going to raise their child in space. She said,
"Oh my God,
I'm going to need child support. Do you have a galactic post office?" The female seemed relieved that their task was over. She did not enjoy herself. And Antonio himself said that he felt angered by the situation because he felt as though he had been little more than a good stallion for the humanoids. Thinking very highly of yourself there, right. Antonio.
Yeah. No, this is a load of bullshit.
Antonio said that he was then given back his clothing and taken on a tour of the ship by the humanoids. During this tour, he said that he attempted to take a clock-like device as proof of his encounter, but was caught by the humanoids and prevented from doing so. He was then escorted off the ship and watched as it took off, glowing brightly. When Antonio returned home, he discovered that 4 hours had passed. In his life, he later became a lawyer and had 4 kids. Not alien related.
No alien kids?
No. He stuck to the story of his alleged abduction for his entire life. Isn't
cool
that
story,
wild?
bro. Cool story, Antonio.
You know, it can't just be, I got abducted. It's got to be, I got abducted and I fucked an attractive alien.
Yep.
Had to add that she was attractive with blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, what the fuck? What is this? Is she Twiggy? Is she the supermodel Twiggy? Anyways. The next case, and my last case, because I'm ready to go home, is on Barney and Betty Hill.
Hell yeah. And their dog.
And their dog.
Don't forget the dog.
Okay. They were an American couple who claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire from September 19th to the 20th of 61.
Did they get it on with any aliens?
We're going to find out. Barney died February 25th, 1969 at the age of 46, and Betty died October 23rd, 2004 at the age of 85.
Well, that's a quick story.
Yep, that's it. We're done.
No detail at all.
That's it. Just done.
They were abducted and they died.
And they're dead now. The incident came to be called the Hill abduction and the Zeta Reticuli incident. Yes. Because the couple stated that they had been kidnapped by aliens who claimed to be from the Zeta Reticuli system. The Hills lived in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Barney was employed by the United States Postal Service, and Betty was a social worker, active in the local Unitarian congregation. The Hills were also members of the NAACP and community leaders.
Upstanding citizens.
Yes, clearly. Not a screw loose. They
had a dog.
Yes, and they had a dog.
Do you talk about the dog?
Can you please calm down? According to a variety of reports given by the Hills, the alleged UFO sighting happened on September 19th of 61 around 10:30 p.m. The Hills were driving back to Portsmouth from a vacation in Niagara Falls in Montreal, just south of Lancaster, New Hampshire. Betty claimed to have observed a bright point of light in the sky that moved from below the moon and the planet Jupiter, which I love that she specifically knows. She's like,
the
Barney,
moon and Jupiter were in the sky.
That's Jupiter. And if my coordinates are correct, that is Orion's belt.
She just had like a star map in her lap.
She's super into it. Upward to the west of the moon, the planet Jupiter, upward to the west. While Barney navigated U.S. Route 3, Betty reasoned that she was observing a falling star, only it moved upward because... Okay.
Yep.
Since it moved erratically and grew bigger and brighter, I almost said erotically, Betty urged Barney to stop the car for a closer look, as well as to walk their dog. There you go.
Yes, walk the dog.
Dulcie.
Dulcie, yes.
Oh. Barney stopped at a scenic picnic area just south of Twin Mountain. Betty, looking through binoculars, observed an odd-shaped craft flashing multicolored lights travel across the face of the moon, which is made of cheese, just so you know. Because her sister had several years earlier said she had seen a flying saucer, Betty thought it might be what she was observing. Through binoculars, Barney observed what he reasoned was a commercial airliner traveling toward Vermont on its way to Montreal. However, he soon changed his mind because without looking, as if it had turned, the craft rapidly descended in his direction. This observation caused Barney to realize this object that was a plane was not a plane. It was Superman. They quickly returned to the car and drove toward Franconia, the notch that you said.
Yep.
A narrow, mountainous stretch of the road. The Hills claimed that they continued driving on the isolated road, moving very slowly through the notch in order to observe the object as it came even closer. At one point, the object passed above a restaurant and signal tower on top of Cannon Mountain and came out near the old man of the mountain. Betty testified that it was at least 1.5 times the length of the granite cliff profile, which was 40 feet long, and that it seemed to be rotating. The couple watched as the silent, illuminated craft moved erratically and bounced back and forth in the night sky. It moved erotically. Approximately 1 mile south of Indian Head, they said the object rapidly descended toward their vehicle, causing Barney to stop in the middle of the highway. The huge silent craft hovered approximately 80 to 100 feet above the Hills, 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air, and filled the entire field of view in the windshield. It reminded Barney of a huge pancake. Carrying his pistol in his pocket, he stepped away from the vehicle and moved closer to the object. Using the binoculars, Barney claimed to have seen about 8 to 11 humanoid figures who were peering out of the craft's windows, seeming to look at him. In unison, all but one figure moved to what appeared to be a panel on the rear wall of the hallway that encircled the front portion of the craft. The one remaining figure continued to look at Barney and communicated a message telling him to stay where you are and keep looking. Barney had a recollection of observing the humanoid forms wearing glossy black uniforms and black caps. Red lights on what appeared to be bat wing fins began to
A Skeletor.
I was going to say telescope, but I ended up almost saying skeletope. Out of the sides of the craft, and a long structure descended from the bottom of the craft. The silent craft approached to what Barney estimated was within 50 to 80 feet, which huge, overhead and 300 feet away from him. On October 21st, Barney reported to National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomenon, the NICAP, investigator Walter Webb, that the beings were somehow not human. Barney tore the binoculars away from his eyes and ran back to his car. In a near hysterical state, he told Betty, "They're going to capture us." He saw the object again shift its location to directly above the vehicle. He drove away at high speed, telling Betty to look for the object. She rolled down the window and looked up. Almost immediately, the Hills heard a rhythmic series of beeping or buzzing sounds, which they said seemed to bounce off the trunk of their vehicle. Trunk. I'm okay, I swear. The car vibrated and a tingling sensation passed through the Hills' bodies. Ooh. The Hills said that they then experienced the onset of an altered state of consciousness that left their minds dulled. A second series of beeping or buzzing sounds returned the couple to full consciousness. They found that they had traveled nearly 35 miles south but had only vague spotty memories of this section of road. They recalled making a sudden unplanned turn, encountering a roadblock, and observing a fiery orb in the road. Arriving home at about dawn, the Hills assert that they had some odd sensations and impulses that they could not readily explain. Betty insisted their luggage be kept near the back door rather than the main part of the house. Their watches would never work again. Barney said that the leather strap for the binoculars was torn, though he could not recall it tearing. The toes of his best dress shoes were scraped, which it just sounds like you're being nitpicky,
Mm-hmm.
Barney says he was compelled to examine his genitals in the bathroom, though he found nothing unusual. He was compelled.
The aliens made me do it.
Yes. They took long showers to remove possible contamination and each drew a picture of what they had observed.
Mm-hmm.
Perplexed, the Hills say they tried to reconstruct the chronology of events as they witnessed the UFO and drove home, but immediately after they heard the buzzing sounds, their memories became incomplete and fragmented. After sleeping for a few hours, Betty awoke and placed the shoes and clothing she had worn during the drive into her closet, observing that the dress was torn at the hem, zipper, and lining. Later, when she retrieved the items from her closet, she noticed a pinkish powder on her dress. She hung the dress on her clothesline, and the pink powder blew away, but the dress was irreparably damaged. She threw it away, but then changed her mind, retrieving the dress and hanging it in her closet. Over the years, 5 laboratories have conducted chemical and forensic analysis on the dress. There were shiny, concentric circles on their car's trunk that had not been there the previous day. Betty and Barney experimented with a compass, noting that when they moved it close to the spots, the needles would whirl rapidly. But when they moved it a few inches away from the shiny spots, it would drop down. And then the report to the NICAP on the 21st, Betty telephoned Peace Air Force Base to report their UFO encounter, though for fear of being labeled eccentric, she withheld some of the details. On the 22nd, Major Paul W. Henderson telephoned the Hills for a more detailed interview. The Henderson's report, dated September 26, determined that the Hills had probably misidentified the planet Jupiter. He said, "You don't know anything about the planet." This was later changed to optical condition, inversion, and insufficient data.
Okay.
His report was forwarded to Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force's UFO research project. Within days of the encounter, Betty borrowed a UFO book from a local library. It had been written by retired Marine Corps Major Donald E. Kehoe, who was also the head of NICIP, a civilian research group. On September 26, Betty wrote to him. She related the full story, including the details about the humanoid figures that Barney had described through binoculars. Betty wrote that she and Barney were considering hypnosis to help recall what had happened. Her letter was eventually passed on to Walter N. Webb, a Boston astronomer and NICAP member. Webb met with the Hills on the 21st of October in 1961 in a 6-hour interview. The Hills related all they could remember of the UFO encounter. Barney asserted that he had developed a sort of mental block and that he suspected there were some portions of the event he did not wish to remember. He described in detail all that he could remember about the craft and the appearance of the somehow not human figures aboard the craft. Webb stated that they were telling the truth and that the incident probably occurred exactly as reported, except for some minor uncertainties and technicalities that must be tolerated in any such observations where human judgment is involved. 10 days after the alleged UFO encounter, Betty began having a series of vivid dreams. They continued for 5 successive nights. Never in her memory had she recalled dreams in such detail and intensity, but they stopped abruptly after 5 nights and never returned. They occupied her thoughts during the day. When she finally did mention them to Barney, he was sympathetic but not too concerned, and the matter was dropped. Betty did not mention them to Barney again. On November 1961, Betty began writing down the details of her dreams. In one dream, she and Barney encountered a roadblock and men surrounded their car. She lost consciousness but struggled to regain it. She then realized that she was being forced by 2 small men to walk in a forest in the nighttime, and of seeing Barney walking behind her, though when she called to him, he seemed to be in a trance of sleepwalking. The men stood about 5 feet to 5 foot 4 inches tall and wore matching blue uniforms with caps similar to those worn by military cadets. They appeared nearly human, with black hair, dark eyes, prominent noses, and bluish lips. Their skin was a grayish color. In the dreams, Betty, Barney, and the men walked up a ramp into a disc-shaped craft of metallic appearance. Once inside, Barney and Betty were separated. She protested and was told by a man she called the leader that if she and Barney were examined together, it would take much longer to conduct the exams. She and Barney were then taken to separate rooms. Betty then dreamt that a new man, similar to the others, entered to conduct her exam with the leader. Betty called this new man the examiner and said he had a pleasant, calm manner. Though the leader and the examiner spoke to her in English, the examiner's command of the language seemed imperfect, and she had difficulty understanding him. The examiner told Betty that he would conduct a few tests to note the difference between humans and the craft's occupants. He seated her on a chair, and a bright light was shone on her. The man cut off a lock of Betty's hair. He examined her eyes, ears, mouth, teeth, throats, she has multiple, throat and hands. He saved trimmings from her fingernails. After examining her legs and feet, the man used a dull knife, similar to a letter opener, to scrape some of her skin onto what resembled cellophane. He then tested her nervous system, and he thrust the needle into her navel, which caused Betty agonizing pain. Whereupon the leader waved his hand in front of her eyes, and the pain vanished. The examiner then left the room, and Betty engaged in conversation with the leader. She picked up a book with rows of strange symbols that the leader said she could take home with her. She also asked from where he came, and he pulled down an instructional map dotted with stars. In Betty's dream account, the men began escorting the hills from the ship when a disagreement broke out. The leader then informed Betty that she couldn't keep the book, stating that they had decided that the other men did not want her to even remember the encounter. Betty insisted that no matter what they did to her memory, she would one day recall the events. She and Barney were taken to their car, where the leader suggested that they wait to watch the craft's departure. They did so, then resumed their drive.
Whoa.
Wild, right? What a wild ride.
Now, obviously, all of that sounds made up and fictitious.
I don't know what you're talking about. That all happened.
That was all 100% real accounts.
Yes, I was
of real
there.
things that occurred really.
Yes. I was there for the entire thing.
You were the dog.
I was the dog. I was Delcy.
Obviously, you believe in aliens.
I do. I think it's foolish to not.
Do you believe in the aliens in the context of in the context of human-like beings, like the ones you described in your story? Or
I am open to all interpretations of aliens, but I mostly would use the term aliens to describe people or creatures from other planets who exist and evolved in their own way.
I think I would agree with you. I don't necessarily think they need to match the descriptions that
Of being
us
humanoid.
humans have given
Yes,
them.
I agree.
Gray people with big eyes and all that stuff. But I definitely believe that they are. There's life.
There is
beyond,
life beyond our galaxy.
Exactly.
And there's life on other planets within our galaxy.
Correct. I agree.
I think it's foolish and hilarious to think that out of the infinite cosmos, we evolved.
Earth is
the
one
only
and
thing
only.
with sentient life?
Right.
Like, really?
True.
Just silly. What did you think of the beer?
Beer was delicious.
I can't finish it.
I don't know if I can either.
Too much beer.
I had a lot of beer today. It's very good. Yeah, it reminded me of Bad Squatch. Very fruity and crisp and refreshing, but also a little bit hoppy.
Yes.
It's the best of both worlds. Best of an IPA and best of a fruit beer mixed together. You can get a lot of pineapple and orange and other fruits, and it smells great. So,
Good beer.
good beer. Excellent pick for this episode.
Well,
And
we're probably going to take, a week off?
oh yeah, well
for-
if we record another bonus episode,
Yeah.
we'll need to record one more bonus episode. But yeah, we can have a bonus episode after 20. Take a week off, but and we'll have 19 and 20 obviously. So, anyway, next episode after this might be a bonus episode, but then we'll pick right back up with 21. beerandfearcast@gmail.com is our email. We are trying to get stories for frights and flights, which is where we read your personal horror, scary, or supernatural, whatever stories on the show, shout you out, and drink whatever beer that you suggest with the story. So if you have any personal stories, just feel free to email them our way. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. All of
And
our
soon to be TikTok.
and yeah, Paige is going to work on TikTok. So you can follow us on those platforms and stay up to date with our new episodes and Paige's pet pics on Instagram. And then we're available on pretty much every single podcast platform out there. So be sure to check us out and follow our stuff if you like what you hear.
Yes.
That was episode 20. aliens.
Have a good day.
And have a good day.
Oh, I'm tired. What?
Do you want ice cream?
I have ice cream.
You don't have this kind.
I don't know. It's fine.
You're so funny.
I've got ice cream here.
Do you want ice cream?
You don't need to buy ice cream.
Every day of my life, I want ice cream stuff. Every waking second of my life, I want ice cream.
I have ice cream.
I almost opened this can. That's how distracted I am right now.
Here,
I have Haagen-Dazs ice cream in the freezer.
Ben and Jerry's.
No, you don't need Ben and Jerry's. I've got Haagen-Dazs.
What is happening right now?
I bought 2 pints of ice cream.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Stop it. I have ice cream.
What is happening right now?
No, put your phone away.
Why are you getting ice cream from like a convenience store?
It's a pint. You don't need a pint of ice cream right now. I got ice cream in the freezer. I can dish it out individually.
What is happening?
Individual servings of ice cream. You don't need